CRS score drops in 2025. Big news for Canada PR applicants. Canada's express entry system is undergoing a major transformation in 2025, one that could change the immigration journey for thousands of skilled workers around the world. With CRS score dynamics shifting due to the removal of job offer points, and new draw patterns emerging after a long pause, understanding these updates is more important than ever. Whether you're already in the pool or considering applying, here's what these changes mean for your chances at Canadian permanent residency. If you are interested in this topic, please pay attention and watch the video through to the end to get all the information. Please hit like and subscribe, and don't forget to push the notification bell for an upcoming video. Canada has finally delivered the good news that thousands of express entry applicants were waiting for. Recent changes to the comprehensive ranking system are leading to a noticeable drop in scores, especially after the removal of 50 to 200 CRS points that were previously awarded for arranged employment offers. As a result, many candidates who earlier had higher scores now find themselves below the competitive range, creating a golden opportunity for other applicants whose scores are high even without a job offer. Let's break down the updates in detail. Major CRS score change, job offer points removed. One of the biggest shifts has come from the removal or reduction of points allocated for job offers in Canada. Previously, if an applicant had a valid job offer supported by a labor market impact assessment, they could receive between 50 and 200 extra CRS points. However, with these points now being removed or adjusted, the playing field has shifted dramatically. Over 575,000 profiles in the express entry pool have seen their scores drop significantly, exiting the 470 to 600 range that is typically considered competitive. This change is significant because roughly 90% of all express entry applicants fall within the 470 to 600 CRS score range. With so many profiles dropping below this threshold due to the elimination of employment points, applicants with higher educational qualifications, language proficiency, and other strong factors, but no job offer, now have a better chance of receiving an invitation to apply for permanent residence. What this means for express entry draws. Most general draws under the express entry system typically select candidates from that 470 to 600 CRS score range. Now that many profiles with inflated scores, thanks to job offers, have dropped out of that bracket, we are likely to see a drop in the minimum CRS cutoff scores for upcoming draws. For example, if your CRS score is already between 490 and 510 and you did not rely on an arranged job offer, you may be in a strong position to receive an ITA in upcoming general draws. There's a strong possibility that the next general draws could see CRS cutoff scores fall below 500, maybe even into the 470s or lower, which hasn't been common in recent years. This presents a fantastic opportunity for applicants who have submitted their profiles in the express entry pool or are planning to do so soon. If you're preparing to apply, now is the time to ensure that your profile is optimized, all documents are in order, and you've done everything possible to boost your CRS score through language tests, education assessments, or additional qualifications. Second big update, new draw after long gap. The second major update is about the recent express entry draw held on April 14, 2025, which came after a long gap following the March 21 draw. In this latest draw, 825 candidates received invitations to apply, and it was targeted toward provincial nominee program candidates. The minimum CRS score required for this round was 764, but it's important to understand that PNP nominees automatically receive an additional 600 CRS points. So the actual base score of the selected candidates was around 164, making it consistent with past PNP targeted draws. This draw marks the first one in April 2025 and adds to the trend of bi-weekly draws that Canada has been consistently conducting. So far, 21,508 candidates have received ITAs under express entry this year alone, showing that the system remains active and responsive to immigration needs. What's next? With these changes, express entry applicants should stay alert and hopeful. We can expect more general and category-based draws in the coming weeks. Draws for healthcare workers, tradespeople, and other priority occupations are likely to continue. But more importantly, the general draws may start selecting candidates with much lower CRS scores due to the changes in employment points. This is a significant shift and a much-needed boost for many aspiring immigrants. If you've already submitted your express entry profile or are planning to do so, this could be your best chance in years to get Canadian PR. Is it worth entering the express entry pool if your CRS is low? Express entry managed programs are among the most popular options for skilled newcomers who want to immigrate to Canada. This is because Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada has a published service standard of 6 months for express entry applications, making it, as the name implies, one of the fastest ways to become a permanent resident of Canada. Receiving an invitation to apply for permanent resident status through express entry is heavily dependent on a candidate's comprehensive ranking system score. The higher a candidate scores, the more likely it is that they will receive an ITA. A CRS score is based on a combination of human capital factors such as age, work experience, occupation, language ability, and education. Recent express entry draws, especially general draws, have seen minimum CRS scores above 500. However, in the current makeup of candidates in the express entry pool, as of February 28, there are 18,106 candidates with scores above 500. For context, the same data shows there are 211,487 express entry candidates in the pool. Put another way, less than 1/10 of express entry candidates have high enough CRS scores to be considered for a general express entry draw so far in 2024. This may lead those who have a CRS score less than 500 to wonder if it's still worth entering the express entry application pool or if they are better off pursuing a different pathway to Canadian immigration. Recent express entry draws. The minimum CRS score required to receive an ITA changes in each express entry draw and can be influenced by the type of draw, general, program-specific, or category-based. CRS scores have shown some wide variation throughout express entry draws in 2024. As of March 12, there have been 10 express entry draws. 6 of the draws were general, meaning candidates were considered from all express entry programs and categories. Scores for the general draws ranged from 525 to 541. The remaining 4 draws this year were for candidates who were eligible through category-based selection. CRS scores for these draws have typically been lower than general draws, ranging from 336 to 437, depending on the category. Category-based selection draws were introduced in May 2023 as a means for IRCC to target express entry candidates who possess specific in-demand attributes. 5 of the 6 categories are occupation-based for 1. Healthcare occupations. 2. Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics professions. 3. Trades occupations, such as carpenters, plumbers, and contractors. 4. Transport occupations. 5. Agriculture and agri-food occupations. 1. The remaining category is for express entry candidates with strong French language proficiency. Candidates in this category saw the lowest score of the year so far, 336, in a February 29 draw for 2,500 candidates. Another draw in the same category on February 1 was comparable at 7,000 ITAs issued to those with a CRS of 365. What this means is that candidates with a CRS score that is too low for a general draw may still have a chance at getting an express entry ITA if they are eligible for category-based selection. Last year IRCC invited more than 16,000 express entry candidates in category-based draws. What is express entry? Express entry is an application management system that oversees the Federal Skilled Worker Program, the Federal Skilled Trades Program or the Canadian Experience Class. Those interested in applying for one of these programs must first self-evaluate if they meet the eligibility criteria for their desired program. If so, the candidate will then need to complete and upload their express entry profile to obtain their comprehensive ranking system score. Once they get a CRS score, they must wait for an ITA from IRCC. How to improve your score? Express entry candidates with lower scores can work on improving it while they wait for an ITA. Any update to human capital factors can be updated in their profile. Language skills. Statistics Canada has recently published a study on the economic outcomes of skilled newcomers based on their language abilities. It found that more than any one factor, language was the biggest predictor of successful economic integration. For example, it said that immigrants who had obtained a Level 10, CLB or NCLC, reading ability earned 25% more than their counterparts with a Level 7 ability. The maximum CRS score a candidate without an accompanying spouse can get for language ability is 136.34 points for each of the 4 evaluated language abilities: reading, writing, listening and speaking. Candidates can take any of the IRCC-recognized language tests, the Canadian Language Benchmark or Niveau de Compétence Linguistique Canadian, as many times as necessary to get their desired score, in either or both English and French. Education. IRCC also gives points for increased levels of education. Candidates without an accompanying spouse who obtain a post-secondary degree of 1 year will receive a score of 90 for education, while those who have a post-secondary degree of 3 years or more get 120 points. This means that, depending on an individual's circumstances, going back to school may be a good option for increasing an overall CRS score. Age. Candidates who are considering applying to an express entry program are advised to do so sooner rather than later because younger candidates receive more points than those who wait until their 30s or 40s. Those who enter the pool between the ages of 20 and 29, without an accompanying spouse, will get 110 points. After a candidate turns 30, this goes down to 95 points and continues to decrease each year until 40, when the maximum points for age goes down to 50. Provincial nomination. Express entry candidates who also receive a provincial nomination automatically get an additional 600 CRS points, which almost guarantees an ITA in an upcoming draw. Those already in the express entry pool can apply for a nomination directly to the province in which they wish to reside or wait for the provincial government to issue an expression of interest in a provincial nominee program draw before applying. EOIs for nomination are similar to an ITA for express entry. Through the PNP, provinces nominate the candidates who are viewed as the most likely to successfully integrate into the provincial workforce and contribute to the local economy by filling urgent job vacancies. Each province has multiple streams that target in-demand attributes within the province. For example, provinces may target candidates with specific occupations, international graduates, entrepreneurs, and some even have PNP streams for candidates who are willing to work in rural areas or on farms. Express entry candidates should note that the PNP is a separate immigration program and they will be required to submit a separate application and fee to the nominating province. A nomination is not the same as getting PR, but it signals to IRCC that an individual is potentially a strong candidate, which is an advantage on a PR application. As Canada continues to refine its express entry system to better meet labor market needs, the opportunities for skilled immigrants are expanding, especially for those without a job offer. With CRS thresholds poised to drop and category-based draws offering additional paths, now is an ideal time to update your profile, improve your score, and prepare for the next round of invitations. That is all for today, in this video. What are your thoughts on this? Please let us know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching the entire video. Hopefully, the information is useful to you. See you later, in the next video. Till then, take care.